All right, hey guys, my name is Keenan Howley. I'm with DXS, and today we're going to be showing you the training for Daikin equipment. So we're going to be showing you the controls for the T-stat and everything like that, and the functionalities and all that. So you have right here your mode, so you can change your mode from heat, or right now it's actually locked out from the T-stat because you can actually lock it out from there, but you can change the mode from heat, cool, or auto, so it can switch over from auto or cooling, or you can put it into fan if you really want to. You can change the fan speed here, just from low, medium to high, or you can have it on auto where it's just going to self-adjust to whatever speed it wants to. Um, this is where you can change your temperatures from up and down. That's your set point right there, and this will be your room temperature. Where it reads the room temperature is from the side right here. There's a little sensor inside the T-stat that will read the room. Um, Basically, if you want to change louver directions for the cassettes on the wall or on the ceilings here, you can go to the main menu here, and then you'll see airflow direction. You want to click OK on there, and you can choose if you want to have it as swing motion, low, from all the way up to the highest point, and then you can have it on auto where it can adjust to wherever it wants to go, and it can go back to swing. And you just have to click OK, and it will save back to where it needs to be. Um, there's a couple other things that you can try. You can also change Celsius and Fahrenheit. Um, you can also change your configuration, so you can change it from the detailed module to simple or to just standard module. I usually just keep it at detailed so it can show you your date and time as well as your heat and set and room temperature basically. Um, Let me see here. And that's obviously your clock and calendar, daylight savings, and then you can also change your language as well. If you want to lock it out like a child lock, if you can't lock it out from the ITM right now, you can always hold down on the OK button, and it should show a key right here, and that's going to just give you a child lock, and so that means you can't do anything, and it will give you a warning saying that you just have to hold the button 4 seconds just to get it out of that key mode. That's just only a child lock, so no one can play with the T-stat, turn it off, turn it on if they shouldn't really need to. For the most part, that should be all the functionalities and buttons for the T-stat. So this baby is your ITM or iTouch Manager. Basically, it's basically your mother load where it shows you all of the units. So right here, this is the icons for all of the condensers. So from ACCU1 to ACCU6. If you want to check on the indoor units for ACCU1, you can just click on down, and then you'll see all the indoor units for ACCU1. If you want to see all of the indoor units for all of the ACCUs, you can just click on all, and then click down, and then you're just going to see indoor. You click down again, and it's going to bring you to all the indoor units here. Let me see. If you want to know the icons, here's the green. This means it's on. If it's off, this is going to be showing gray or it's non-operational. If it's in an error, it's going to show you a yellow triangle. And then if it's in a COM error, like a disconnection, a breaker tripped, or someone turned off a unit from a switch, it will show you a blue triangle. It could also show you your yellow triangle if someone turned off a switch as well by showing an error code a U4-01, which is meaning a connection issue. So someone could have turned off a unit, or there's a connection issue somewhere. You won't see these icons too much, but this is just your emergency and your maintenance. This will probably pop up whenever you reset the unit, but you don't really need to. That's not very important. The setback is active and then the setback inactive. So that's when you're setting up your setback. There will be an icon that will pop up for the setback feature. So if you have your temperatures set to, let's say, we'll show you that feature actually when we get to it. Let me see here. So right here, there's the filter sign. You have your room temp right there. You have your CH available. So CH available, you'll want to keep an eye on that icon. So for each of these indoor units, it should have one of these. And if one of those units have one of these, that unit has the master control. So that one is the one that's master controlling all the other units. So if I went to ACCU1 and I'm looking for that icon, I find out it's 1.1D that has that icon. That's the one that's master controlling all the other units. So that one will be the one that you can set your heat, cool, and fan to. You can't change any of these other modes until you change this one, and then all the other ones will change into that mode afterwards. You can change the temperature of these, but you cannot change the mode of any of these until you change the master one, which has that icon on it. And then obviously you have your auto fan, your swing, and then there's your icons right there basically. So when the icon, if you ever do see an error code pop up, it usually will pop up on the condenser themselves. Usually you would want to click down, and it sometimes would even pop up here for the actual error code. But if it doesn't pop up here and you still see a yellow triangle, you can click down and it will show you yellow triangles on whichever one has one, and then you just have to click on it and it will show you the error code right here. That's where the indication will be. Um, if you guys need to figure out what the error code is, there's an app called Daikin Tech Hub app, which we use it all the time for our things so we can solve out error codes. But the app will help you if there is an error code. You can go to the app and look up the error code, and it will tell you the description of the error code. It will tell you a flow chart, and it will give you step by step on what to do and what to check for that error code, basically. I'm gonna put it back on. All right, yeah, no, that's all good. All right, thank you, appreciate it. All right, so we can, if you want to, so what I just did there basically was I changed from the icon to the list function, which you can do here. If you want to make it more organized, you can just see it from right here. You just go, and then once you go to a condenser, you can actually, in the list form, you can see room temps and everything like that all organized and already set up for you, so you can see what they're set up to for set points and everything, what the room temps are reading and all that other good stuff. So as I was saying before, once you click on the actual condenser or whatever condenser you want to click on, because I want to actually command the entire unit, I'll click on settings, and this is where you want to set up whatever you want to do with the unit. So before you do or click on anything, because you can't do anything yet, is click on the boxes, and then that will let you command the units to turn on if you want. You can change from fan, cool, heat. Dependent is just depending on whatever they want it to be. And then obviously you can change your cool set point, your heat set point here. You have your minimal cool heat set point differential there. We usually like to keep it at 0. For this right here, I guess this is what they wanted set for a setback anyways, is 92 and 58. So if it ever gets like 93 or if it ever gets below 57, it's going to have that setback feature where it's going to kick right on and kick you right back through, so it doesn't go, so you shouldn't be able to surpass 58 or 92 basically. So that's kind of just emergency, get back into the range. Right here is the second tab. This tab will show you your fan speed, your airflow direction, your set point restrictions, so whatever you want to have your restrictions set to for your cooling, and whatever you want to have them for your heating. You can have the minimum, max, and you can also set them for the heating as well. You have your setback recovery temp here. We usually default, it's always kept at 4 degrees for both cool and heat. Extension temp, that's always off usually. But then we have, this is the baby right here. A lot of people like using this for stopping people from like touching key stats or playing with things that they shouldn't be playing with. This is where you can actually stop them from doing that. You can just go to RC prohibition, click on the check boxes, and you can prohibit them from turning units on and off, changing operational modes, or changing set points basically. You can do that for the entire ACCU, or you could just go to one of these indoor units, go to settings, and then do that just for that specific indoor unit. But if you just, like, the simple way is changing temperatures here, but if you want to start changing modes and all that other good stuff, I prefer going to the setting and start changing whatever you want to change, like your set points and your mode and everything like that. Let me see. For now, what we'll do, so this is the menu list right here. This right here is the blue icon area. You don't really need to be messing with a lot of things here, but you can mess with some things. There's, right here is the automatic control. So this is where you can create your schedule basically. So you can go into create, and then you can name the schedule of what you want it to be. You can act for the activation, you can activate it. You can choose the what pattern of when it turns on to when it turns off, or how long it should turn on for. This is the weekly pattern of which days you want to have turn on and turn off, basically. You can copy it to or delete one, or you can always edit the schedule that you've already worked on, basically, and then fix that schedule to work at something else. Um, they usually work by 12 a.m., 6 a.m., 12 p.m., 6 p.m. So, um, and then obviously special day occasions, but that's something we don't really mess with. But usually once you have most of that set up, you know, yeah, once you have that set up, it's going to show you like your functionalities, like what you wanted to be set to. I'm pretty sure, let's see, yeah, you can create and activate like an action for it. So usually you have to go here, create the time, the management point that you choose. You can choose, select certain certain uh, unit that you want for the turning on process in the schedule, or you can actually just choose the condensers themselves, or choose all of the condensers to start turning them on at a certain time. And then once you click OK, it will show you all of this. Basically, it's going to show you what you want it to be set to, have it on or off, or what do you want it to be doing at that time, basically, for that 12 a.m. pretty much. And then once you click OK, it's going to say, you're going to have it there as it's going to be off at that time. I didn't have it as on, but you can have the next one be on, basically, as you just have to create another one and then just choose the same thing, basically, and do the same thing again. So just click OK, and you have that on, and then just say just OK, and then that will have that on, basically. So it's kind of like one or the other. So if you want to have more than one action on that one day, then you have to create more than one action, basically. You can't just have one action here on nothing else besides that, because you're going to have it turn off at some time, because it can't just be running the entire time. So obviously you're going to have to create at least two actions, one to turn on at a certain time, one to turn off at a certain time. And then you can create more than two if you really want to, for each of the days, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, repeat, etc. So that's for your schedule. And then want to confirm the exit, yes, close out of there. So that's your schedule. Then this is your auto changeover. So auto changeover, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to have them enable auto changeover. But what this is going to do for you guys is basically, once you go into your, so basically all that does for you guys is that when the set point is 68, let's say, and it surpasses the primary dead band, which is 2 degrees, if it surpasses 68 by 2 degrees, it's going to have a guard timer of about 15 to 30 minutes for the condenser to start kicking, or the condenser to start kicking on. So it's going to have that guard timer. And then if it surpasses the secondary third degree, then it's just going to ignore that guard timer and just kick on, and then come back down to whatever set point temperature you have it at. It's going to be a vote. So what it means by vote, obviously, it's majority minority rule. So it's like, if say you have 4 condensers that want heating and 2 condensers that want cooling, then obviously the four are gonna win, because majority rules, basically. So all of it's gonna go into heating in that case. I'm pretty sure all these units here are heat pumps, not heat recovery. So they don't have, so it's all 2 pipe. So basically, always keep that in mind, that it's going to be a majority minority rule. If there's if it's 3 units that want cooling and 3 units that want heating, it's gonna probably just go right into heating, because of the fact that they want heating as a primary and cooling as a luxury. So if it was 3 cooling, 3 heating, it's gonna go into heating. If it's 4 cooling and 2 heating, it's gonna go into cooling. It's just majority rules. So whatever happens, and then if it's tied, it's gonna go into heating no matter what. Um, but pretty sure this is like, obviously you don't have to mess with so much here. Um, you have your date and time. We probably already set that up for you, so you don't have to do too much there. You can set up a password if you want for the iTouch. So if you don't want anyone messing with the password, or if you don't want anyone messing with the iTouch, you can just set up a password and just have it for yourself. But keep in mind that you must keep an eye on the password, or have like some kind of, have it in a note somewhere, because if you don't, if you forget about it, you can't get back into this. It's going to be a brick in the wall basically. So you don't want that to happen. So just keep in mind, if you do create a password, always keep that password on you or in a note somewhere so you don't lose that. And then yeah, it's just there's your hardware settings. You can change volume of like your touch sound. Like if me touching right now, you can have that buzz. You can have the alarm buzz go off louder if you want it, or for a longer duration too if you need it. Um, Let me see. Screensaver, that's just mostly for us. Version, that's just seeing what the version update is basically. And then you can, for here, operation management, you can see your history. So this is where it's nice. So say if you had a person playing with a T-stat but claiming that they didn't play with a T-stat. So you can actually go here, you can click off control or settings and status and all that kind of stuff, show updates, and then it will show me updates of what actually happened. Oh, all right, cool. Now we're back on. Yeah, like I said, if you ever reset the condenser, you'll see that I thing pop up, but then it goes away. And then you'll see this blue triangles pop up, which that probably is happening because it's just resetting basically, and then it's just coming back online. So I'll give it a couple minutes and all that blue triangle should go away. But yeah, history. Like I said, if someone was playing with a T-stat you want to figure out, you can always just click off of the check marks. So classification, you can choose what kind of things you want to see for the history. If you want to just see just error codes, you can just see just error codes by just clicking just error codes and then showing updates, and it'll show you what error codes they had for it. Basically, it seems like it was just more of the emergency lockout kind of thing going on. There we go. But yeah, so you can just see if you want to look at someone's controlling it or something like that. You can always look at control, and then you can always modify the date if you need to. Say if it was happening on a certain date, like the 5th or something like that, then you can always just do that. Click OK, and then you're going to say show updates, and it'll show you the new updates. If there's nothing on that day, then you want to keep clicking one and then just keep going down. So, but for the most part, it has like it's pretty much the same premise as anything else. If you want to look at the status of something, you can just click on that as well. Click whatever date you want and then show updates basically, and it will show you the updates of that date. So you can see if someone is either controlling a T-stat not supposed to be, or if someone's controlling it by the ITM. You can see that. It can tell you if it's getting controlled by auto changeover as well. It will say that in the descriptions usually. Contents, it will say that right there usually. It'll tell you the type right here. So whatever classification is whatever it's going to be right here, and then whatever the contents is going to be. Sorry, no, you're good. Whatever the contents are going to be is whatever that's going to be. I'm pretty sure that should be it for the most part on this, actually. All right, so basically, we usually like to recommend quarterly change outs for the filters and everything like that. But for this case, these filters are just washable filters. So to get to the filter, all you have to do is there's 2 tabs right here. You pull down the tabs, and then this cover should come down. And then here is your filter right here. So usually you can just take it off from there. But this one, it looks like they just have it tied on right now. It's got taped down basically. So I'm not going to take it off right now because I mean it's clean anyway. So but it is taped down for the most part because it's still new and everything like that. But once you're ready to change out or clean the filter, all you got to do is take off the tapes here and then just pull off the filter, and then you just wash it. Make sure that you can see through the whole side of the filter. If you ever need to get to the electrical compartment, it's actually right here. So if you need to just see what's going on, if there's like a power issue or something like that, you just have to unscrew these 2 screws right here, pull it to the left a little bit, and then pull out. And then you'll see your comm wires here, your jumpers, and all your connections basically. And your power wires should be on this side. So you can see what your power is and incoming power and all that other good stuff basically, if it is something like that. But yeah, for the most part, that should be it. Most of all these, I think most of all the units here are the same for these type of units. So it's just washable filters. I don't think you have to actually buy any filters or change anything out, basically. There's other model numbers that are a little smaller than this, like the FXZQs. They're just a little square one, but they're basically the same thing. They just have two tabs, basically, that just open like that. And you just fold down, grab your filter out, wash it, and then put it back different. Like I said, you have your little two tabs right here. Just going to have to... Oop. If I was tall, I wish. And just put that side down. And it's going to come down like this, basically. And it has hinges like so, basically. But your filter is just like this. Same thing, same premise. Just take it off. And then once you're washed, done with it, you put it back on here. You make sure you get both sides like that into the hole. And then you try to reach. If only I was tall. Might have to get a ladder. Like so. Doing so for the maintenance out here, for the condensers, we usually like to do just 1 year around clean of the coils, basically. So your coils are kind of under here. It's a little hard to reach, but you want to check underneath them. For this case, I mean, we're not like near like trees or anything like that, so it's not like we're gonna get a lot of pollen up here or anything like that. It's gonna go into these coils, but for like every year or so, you want to have you just want to come up here, kind of just double check your coils, give it one good wash just with water, nothing else, no coil cleaner, no anything, no soap, nothing like that, just water. It can be a pump spray or it can be a hose. I prefer a hose just because of how powerful it is. It can push off all the dust and grime if there is any. But there's coils from here on the side, on this side, and on the back as well. You just got to make sure you can get clean off the coils, basically. Just wash it down, make sure all the stuff is off of it. There's already chemicals on the coil themselves that is already soaked in it. So once the water combines with it, it actually kills all the grime on the coils. So it doesn't need any chemicals or anything like that. The other thing that it's good to check, but it's nice that they did insulation like this. You just want to make sure that nothing's wearing down or anything like that, besides like, or conduits like breaking apart or anything like that. You just want to make sure that everything is intact and all good and tidied and everything like that too. You don't want anything damaged whatsoever. Just keep a good eye out. Always just like look around, make sure that all the systems are doing what they're supposed to. If you had an incident where all the units downstairs were showing a U9 and not one of them was showing an actual true error code, so a U9 is meaning that there's something wrong with the unit, but not me. So there's something going on with one of the other units or the condenser itself that's having an issue. If all the indoor units are showing a U9, then my best bet would be to go up to the condenser out here and take off that little window right there, and there should be a black tab right behind that window that you should remove, and it will show you a little screen that you will see the error code that will pop up on there. If it shows blank screen, it's in normal operation on the screen up there. You shouldn't see any blinking lights or anything like that. It has to be normal operation, and it also has to be running too. So blank screen is normal operation. If it's solid zeros, it's trying to initialize or it's trying to pick up something. If it's blinking, it's still trying to pick up a lot of stuff, and it's not. It sounds like a communication issue could be going on too. So usually you want to have blank screen. So I usually always like to double check up here to make sure there's no error codes on the outdoor condenser. You can always check downstairs at the ITM as well to make sure there's no error codes down there as well. So, but after that, I think for the most part, you can always open up the inside of here. Just double check the inside, make sure there's nothing wearing down on the inside, like your pipes are not rubbing together with any other pipes. Basically, you want to make sure there's no wires that are disconnected and are loose or something like that. And you want to make sure that all your you just want to make sure that all your insulation and all that kind of stuff is all good to go and everything. So make sure that all that is tidied up and everything, and make sure all the coils are washed, and you should be good to go for that maintenance for that time. I think that should be it for the most part up here. So basically, the Splits are kind of the same thing as the bigger condensers. You just want to make sure to keep an eye on them every year or so. Wash them down with water as well. Always keep an eye that there's no dust on them or anything like that. With these installations, it does look like it doesn't have that plastic on top of it. So we just like to make sure that it's not wearing down over time, because this insulation is good, but it can wear down over a long period of time, basically. So you just want to make sure there's no areas where it's like opening up or anything like that. If there is, just get some insulation tape and put it over it if you need to. Just want to make sure that your conduits are all good and there's nothing loose or anything like that as well. And then for the most part, you just want to make sure the unit's actually running normally and there's no error codes or anything like that as well. So for the most part, it's similar to everything else or all the other condensers.